This is World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with your host, Carl Gruber. World Awakenings is a podcast dedicated to opening your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how they play an all-important role in our daily life. So join Carl on this enlightening experience as he interviews metaphysical and spiritual experts to discuss, debate, and delve deeply into the hows and whys of this worldwide awakening.
Hi guys, I'm Carl Gruber, author of the new book True Spirituality and the Law of Attraction, a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Are you tired of being caught in the web of negativity that our ego-driven world mandates as reality? Say one positive thing and all you hear is, get real, get your head out of the clouds and prepare for the worst. Well, I'm here to tell you that negativity is not reality, and that the opposite is true. This is why I have written and published this book. In my new book, I show you how you can walk hand in hand and in alignment with the law of attraction and eternal universal spiritual truths, which will allow you to make all the positive, loving, happy, abundant, and healthy things you desire your reality. Find out how you can become a consistent co-creator of your life with the universe and get out of that negative spiral of lack, attack, and judgment. Get your copy today of my new book, True Spirituality and the Law of Attraction, a beautiful symbiotic relationship by Carl Gruber. Now available as an ebook and paperback on Amazon.
The Love Tuner is a revolutionary breathing and meditation device that combines a simple yet profound breathing exercise with the 528 Hz frequency, bringing you into a state of instant relaxation. The Love Tuner is a stylish necklace that comes beautifully packaged in an elegant premium gift box. Pull the Love Tuner out of the cap and place the rounded side with the engraved Love Tuner logo between your lips. Blow into the Love Tuner gently, like on a flute, to create a smooth, long note with a constant volume. You can make the note last as long as you like. After exhaling, inhale through your nose, allowing air to flow into the center of your body. Just leave the Love Tuner between your lips as you inhale, and then exhale again with the next note. Repeat as long as it feels good. We recommend at least 6 breathing cycles. After tuning, enjoy the silence and your fully tuned state of being. Caution: love tuning may cause miracles.
Hey, welcome back, friends, to yet another awesome episode of World Awakenings, a fast track to enlightenment. I'm your host, Carl Gruber. Now, as we embark on our journey into episode 234 of this show, I invite you to open your heart, mind, and spirit to receive the beautiful light, love, and knowing each and every one of my guests has to share with us, and that is especially true with today's guest. And don't forget, you can find the show on YouTube, New Reality TV, and every possible audio-only online outlet. All right, let's check out our new guest on today's show. We have an absolutely fascinating guest, Finola Cox, but who simply goes by the name Fin. Fin is an artist, healer, and teacher here to guide humanity through Gaia's Ascension. She joins with all of us on this human journey as she closely works with Reiki energy, light language, tarot and oracle cards, water, and energy in general. Now, Fin's presence on Earth is here to invite remembrance of the One and to restore the Garden of Eden.
It is crucial, now more than ever, that you have compassion for all beings, but that you are especially empathetic and kind towards those who do not yet understand what is happening, towards those who are not yet aware of the planetary ascension that is underway. Because many beings are awakening. Many souls do not fully comprehend or understand the gravity of the transition that Gaia is going through right now. And the most impactful, most sacred service that you can provide to these souls who just don't understand is compassion, mercy, forgiveness, kindness. Be non-judgmental, be open, be empathetic. Understand that they don't understand, and that your presence is a safe space. When you hold space for someone without judging, when you listen to them or just allow them to sit in your field and attune to your energy, you are providing the greatest service. Not one that can be conveyed with words, not one that can be measured by actions, but something far more powerful and far more effective than any external action or achievement. Your role is to be compassionate, be understanding, show kindness, preach love, and embody it even more. Your role, 144, is to be a channel for Source and to allow the divine to express itself through you. To hold space for every being to be authentically themselves and to know that they are worthy and loved and cherished exactly as they are. Have compassion, be forgiving, show kindness, because that is how you ascend. I love you.
So with that, welcome, Finn. Welcome to World Awakenings.
Hi, nice to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I just found out this is Finn's first podcast, so I love it. Thank you for choosing World Awakening. So, and like I said to you, Finn, you fascinate first because you are pretty young, and in doing what you do, speaking light language, channeling, being a child of nature, and doing artwork, energy healing, and helping people connect to their true higher self. How the heck did you find out you had these abilities and get to this point in your young life?
Well, it has been quite a journey. I have not always been this way. When I was about 11, I started to really struggle with my mental health, and that um, spiraled into something very dark. Um, However, it taught me a lot, and it shaped me into who I am now. Um, and it helped me to start to heal and start to understand why I was here. Um, and yeah, it's been a journey, lots of lessons, lots of learning. But most of what I do is not something that I've learned, it's something that I'm remembering about my purpose and about my journey and about Gaia's ascension.
Yeah. You don't have to answer this, but can you elaborate a little bit more? What was this dark spot that made you realize that you need to go to the light?
Um, well, it was a culmination of a lot of factors, the convergence of a lot of energies and challenges and um, a lot of depression and hurting and pain that I didn't quite understand where it was coming from. I felt very lost. I felt very confused. I felt very um, hopeless until I started to truly live, until I started to open my eyes and see, wow, life is actually so beautiful. Like, there are so many blessings and miracles and wonderful things all around us, and I have not been living. Um, so there was definitely a pivot, and I don't think that at the time I was really aware of what that moment was, but looking back, I can see more clearly when I started to awaken and when I started to change my ways of being.
That's really interesting that you could be 11 years old and be in this deep depression. And it seems to me that especially today's young population, and it doesn't matter what country in the world they're in, that this is quite almost an epidemic of young people, because there's so much thrown at them through technology and the media and all that. And the beautiful part is you, at that age, were able, as you said, pivot and go to the light. But unfortunately, and you may even have friends, many people, youngsters at that age, they think that's it. They can't see beyond it, and many of them commit suicide or go to the dark side. And so that is beautiful that you were able to do that. I got to be a hippie way back in the hippie era, and you really remind me of that free flowing out in nature and everything, which is why your website is called Flow with Finn. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yes.
do you ever feel like that? Like, do you don't even know anything about hippies?
I do, yeah. Um, I I think flow is a really interesting word because it just describes a state of surrender, of just moving with the energies of life and not against them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, you're pretty young, but not many of my guests who are all masters and teachers of spirituality, metaphysics, and enlightenment are all that young. But I have heard and read that there's a whole new generation of youngsters coming into the world who are far more aware of what lay beyond our 3D world of form. Why do you think this is?
Yeah, there's a significant amount of souls that are incarnating now with the purpose to help this planet to ascend. There are more and more waves of more and more advanced beings that are incarnating now more than ever to assist on this planetary ascension. And there's so much that we have to learn from these children and from these young people. There's so much that they are here to teach us. And it's really important that we listen because they don't have that same veil of separation that we do. They don't have that same sense of amnesia that we have been programmed into. They are awake, they remember, they are aware, and they are coming in with new skills and new knowledge and so many gifts to share with us and with the collective. And the reason that it is becoming so accelerated and intensifying is because we are nearing the end of an era and it's happening very, very quickly.
Yeah, boy, that's for sure. I don't even have a television, but still I see the media and you can see how quickly it's happening. But people just need to watch and listen to my show because many of my guests are saying the same thing about you. And that younger generation that's coming in and that is more aware, many of them are actually older souls who've brought that awareness with them that from other lives that they haven't forgotten. They've gone through the veil, and also that many of them are star seeds.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself one of those?
Um, I do. However, it makes me it makes my soul uncomfortable to use labels,
Mm-hmm.
um, and to put words on things because it feels so limiting and it feels so restricting. So yes, like I guess I would identify as a starseed. However, I try to stay away from labels simply because they don't really resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like my origin, speaking for myself, um, my origin is not a place or a location. It's more of a state of being. It's an energy. It's a home frequency that can't be pinpointed. It can't be defined. It can't be put in a box, if that makes sense.
Doing what I do, no, that makes complete sense. That is a beautiful answer. Yeah, yeah, really. I love that. Thank you. I see that you do artwork. What kind of artwork are you doing?
I do lots of art. I've been making art for as long as I can remember. Um, I paint, I work with metal, I work with clay a lot. I do a lot of pottery. I also do stained glass, um, drawing, collaging, basically any medium that you can think of, I most likely do. Um, I just love art.
Do you have you yet, or do you want to do any showings in galleries?
I have not yet. I've posted a few of my projects and I plan to post more on my website, on my little blog space journal section. Um, but I'm just kind of open to see how it evolves, not really planning anything strict or specific.
I think I saw you do stained glass.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's very cool. You can do some beautiful stuff with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, another thing too, you talk about your connection to Gaia, to Mother Earth. Why do you feel so connected to her, and to nature?
Um, I think it's just because I feel so passionate about my purpose here. Um, I also had a role in another life in developing the Earth experiment as a
Mm.
whole. So that definitely plays a role in it too. The fact that I helped in seeding this planet and now I'm here seeing its fulfillment into the light. Um, that's probably the biggest reason, but also it's such an incredible experience to be human, and to have all these sensations and all these feelings and all of these experiences. It's just really wonderful to be a human.
I like to hear that. Many people, "God, I don't want to be a human. This sucks."
Yeah.
So, well, how do you know that you were in a previous life had this role? I mean, did that just come with you since you are more aware of past lives, or did you have an experience of a past life regression where you found that out?
Um, it was more of just something I remembered while meditating.
Hmm.
Um, it there was no ritual or thing that happened. It just kind of was like, oh yeah, I did this.
Yeah. So you're doing meditating, and have you had any specific spiritual experiences or kundalini awakenings that have happened to you, or that hasn't come yet?
There have definitely been some transcendental moments, some very profound experiences. Um, yeah, but that kind of the intensity of it has lessened. I feel like at the beginning of my awakening, it was very like intense and exciting and wonderful, and now it has almost died down.
Mhm.
However, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's simply integration of those lessons and those energies.
Yeah, you're more aware of your purpose now and what you're doing, which is very cool. At your young age, boy, you're going to do some beautiful things over the next several years and decades. I'm curious. How does what you do and be and are now, does that relate to your family or your friends? Are any of your friends or family into doing what you do?
No, not really. I am very different from the people that are around me. Um, I have friends. I'm close with my family. But my work and my choices and how I live my life is significantly different from those around me simply because of the choices I make and the way I embody light.
And I think that's good too, because when you embody that light and accept your purpose, you tend to love yourself. And if you don't have like-minded people around you, it doesn't bother you so much. If you love yourself, you know you're on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting. So good for you. And I can tell you, you're not the only one. I personally, in my own life where I live, I can't say that hardly any of my own personal friends are into what I go have a beer with them and talk about the football game and stuff. But when I come here, I have friends like you and colleagues from around the world and like-mindedness. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you have a big social media presence. So I'm sure you get a lot of positive feedback that way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really beautiful to see the community growing around it and
Mhm.
around me. I feel really honored to have
Yeah.
this role.
Yeah, you are. You're definitely blossoming and shining your light. Now, you talk about restoring the Garden of Eden and about Gaia's ascension. Can you talk more about this?
Yeah, so the Garden of Eden is not a place, although it is here on Earth. It is a state of being. It is a lived frequency. It is an embodied consciousness. And my presence and this lifetime um, is centered around this energy of Eden. Um, because Eden is a place where all of creation knows union with Source, with the
Hmm.
divine, with God, with whatever word you choose to use for that presence. It is a place where there is harmony among all living beings. It is a place where humanity understands its innate divinity. And it is what Earth was before there was fragmentation, before there was separation, before there were two. And so it is a returning to that original blueprint, to that initial architecture of Mama Gaia.
Well, everything that you just said, I can't tell you how much it makes my heart soar, man, just to hear you say that. I don't know if you've read or even heard about A Course in Miracles. You can see it behind me.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've not read it.
Well, it's a source of a channeled source, 50 years old now, that is speaks of nothing but non-dualistic spirituality, where exactly what you said, all is one. We're in a dream of fragmentation, of separation from source, and you described the Garden of Eden perfectly. It is it is a state of mind back at home in oneness with its source. That is so cool that you have that realization, and now you're sharing that with the world. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Now, I do have this. Of course, today's modern world is a whirling dervish of chaos, pressure to succeed, stress, just plain go, 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 go all of the time. What can a person do to step out of this madness and slow down and connect to nature and connect to their true self?
My best advice is to just be. We are constantly consumed with doing and producing and going, like you said. And the best antidote to that is simply being. Presence is something that we have lost, and presence is something that will heal us. Because when we are here now, when we are not in the past, not in the future, but truly living in this moment, truly feeling all of its wonder, not half present, not listening to someone and planning your next sentence, but truly engaged in the moment, then we are living fully. And that is how we begin to build this new world, not through something in the future, not through something that already happened, but through this now. Because time is time is something. Time is not linear. And it only exists as a concept on Earth for our evolution, for our learning, as a modality for us to evolve. But beyond Earth, time is non-existent. The time is always now. And so in the new Earth, in Eden, we are returning to that state of now, to that presence, to that being. And so my best advice is not to do more, not to think harder, but to be more, to feel more. Because there's also a collective shift from our minds to our hearts. We are remembering how to feel and trust that as a valid source of information rather than the mind and logic and intellectualizing. So feel and be.
Yeah. Very, very wise advice. Advice of the ages from one so young. I love it. That is beautiful. You're exactly right. Time is an illusion. It's a creation of our separation from, because at home with Source, there is only now, or as A Course in Miracles calls it, the holy instant or the eternal now. That is beautiful, and of course, that is difficult in today's society. But I think let's say somebody's rushing to work. Oh God, I'm late. I got a report. I got to do blah blah blah. You can actually just stop for 30 seconds wherever you're at before you get out of your car to go into your office and just pull back in and be here now, right?
Yeah, and taking that pause, finding that realignment within yourself and with Source is the most effective thing that you can do. Not more planning, not more thinking, not more doing, but just pausing and resting in that stillness with Source will do so much more for you than any effort ever will.
So that being what you just said, what if you can imagine a mom who has 3 kids, small, needs diapers changed, and they're screaming. I mean, somehow, some way, if she gets a moment, she can go in the bathroom and just do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing about Source, about the divine, is that it's not far away or separate as
Yeah.
dogma and society has convinced us it is. It's accessible, it's intimate, it's here within your heart, and you don't need to search for it. You simply need to arrive at it because it's already within you. And that's the most beautiful part, is that it's always present. It's always available. It's always loving you and guiding you and protecting you. And nothing could ever change that because you are its child and you are an inseparable part of it. And that's what we're remembering collectively.
Yeah, yeah. And you are right. Many, many of my guests, I mean, this is my 234th episode since 2018, and many of my guests talk about the ascension of humanity, moving through from the 3D into the 5D. And I'm glad you talk about it on a collective basis. There is a remembrance on a collective basis.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing too, somebody who's living a crazy, chaotic life, there are those moments where you can stop and just be and remember. I've been a runner for a very, very long time, and I never use these earbuds when I'm running because I'll be out in nature running, and running has been my meditative time of the day. I'm out there and it sounds silly, but I go, oh, hello, bird. Oh, hi, squirrel. Oh, look at that beautiful tree over there. Oh, my gosh, let me stop and smell these flowers. And so, if you have something like that running, I do know that a lot of young parents will use running as private mom time and private dad time. I think you do yoga. I'm sure yoga is like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love yoga. I do it every day, and it's definitely one of those meditative practices that helps keep me centered, and helps me to move through energy and remember to be present.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. I think a lot of people fall into the misguided thing that yoga is it's all physical and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
physicality too, but yes, it can be deeply spiritual and metaphysical.
Yeah, that is one of the harder parts about it is that when it got brought to the West, it got changed.
Mm.
Um, Yoga is so much more about the not only the mind, but the soul than about your body. It has turned into a workout. It has turned
Yeah.
into something that it is not. And what yoga really is, well, it means to yoke or to unite. Um, Yoga is a way to remember oneness within duality. It's a way to experience mind and body and breath and not necessarily bring them together, but understand that while they are separate, they are simultaneous. And rediscovering that diversity within unity is what makes life so beautiful. At least that's what it means to me.
Yeah, gosh, you're really nailing it. Really beautiful. I really love everything you're saying. Now, let's find out about how you channel and use light language. First of all, can you explain what light language is and how it came about that you found out you can channel and speak it?
Yeah, so light language is the language of the soul. It's not a strict vocabulary, it is sounds and noises and vowels, and it's just kind of natural. It's not meant to be forced, it's not meant to be something that is understood with the mind. What light language does is it bypasses your brain. It gets you to stop thinking and start feeling. It's a way of channeling frequency, of speaking energy, so that it can be integrated and received for the soul, not just the brain, the conscious thinking mind. And the way I started to develop mine or remember mine is through starting. Just speaking, just saying tones and feeling how they felt until that eventually developed into um, a language that I understand and can speak, I guess, fluently, you could say.
Would you be willing to do some light language for us right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and let us know if there's a particular message behind it and everything.
Mhm. Ayamo uturai I shotokorum u eti eulai rama'a I teukomu u ayashi I toraim edena a toraum amekue ti I aya a e Gaia e shotoremo solei a tora.
And is there a particular message or meaning to that?
Um, Usually it's more like codes. So that was solar codes, energies, um, Edenic codes, energies. Um, I try not to get too caught up on definitions
Hmm.
because, again, kind of connecting back to labels, um, it just doesn't vibe with me as much as just feeling it and being it.
Well, light language is the universal speak of frequencies and energy and sound. Yeah. Now, the thing is, I have had many, many guests here who channel beings from different galaxies, Pleiadians, Arcturians, the praying mantis people, you name it, Syrians, and many of them do light language. Now, do you feel as if there is another energy or being speaking through you when you do that?
No, My channelings do not come from a separate entity or from another being. Um, what I channel and what I teach is all from my own being. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense to me. Yeah, if you're connected to your true higher self, yeah, absolutely. Now you speak of helping bring people to a space of remembrance. A remembrance of what?
A remembrance of who they truly are, beyond this name, beyond this identity, beyond this body. Uh, we're so conditioned and deceived as a population, of our truth, of the Earth's history, of the fact that we are eternal souls, not finite bodies. And so it's a remembrance of the soul and a remembrance of home, of source, of the one. Um, remembrance of union and Eden and being in that space of source. Because that's our true home, and that is who we truly are beneath all of the stories and tasks and daily lives. We are so much more, and it's a remembrance of that infinite nature.
Now you speak of the one. I mean, some people obviously will call it God or Allah or whatever. I call it all that is source. Do we need to have a label for the one?
No, I don't think so. Because I think to try and label it is to limit it. To put
Mm.
a title on it is inherently minimizing it when it cannot be named or described or explained because it's everything. It's the bugs, it's the air, it's you, it's me, it's the force of creation that is animating all of life. And it is this benevolent, loving intelligence that is organizing everything. Not to punish or reward, but to resonate, to align. It doesn't choose favorites. It just sorts. It just organizes based off of what you put out and who you choose to be. And the most important thing that I want people to know is that it is within you. It is right here in your heart. That's what we are remembering.
And two, yes, it is so important to do that, to remember. I think, and you use the word limit. In our life in a body, one of my guests once said about living as a human in a body. She calls it pushing density, and so we're here in being in a body in this life is a form of limitation, and our journey, like you're doing, is to remember and go back to the light, and eventually we won't need bodies anymore once we learn that final lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that the limitation definitely serves a purpose. As frustrating and difficult as it can be a human at times, it is so incredibly enriching for the soul. There are so many valuable lessons in this 3D plane for us to learn, and it wouldn't exist if it didn't have value. We would not become enlightened if there were no illusion. It all serves a purpose.
Wow, you are so wise beyond your years. I love it. Wow, beautiful. Tell us about your work with tarot and oracle cards. How can working with these cards help a person in their daily life?
Yeah, tarot and oracle cards are very useful tools. However, it's important to remember that they are only tools. Um, they are how I started to strengthen my intuition and receive messages from spirit. Um, it was kind of like a gateway into my psychic abilities and what I am truly capable of. However, it's me that can read the cards. I am the instrument. I have the awareness, the power, the consciousness to use those tools. And it's really important to remember that they are only tools, but they can be very helpful for people who are recently awakening or even people who are highly awakened. Um, to just have that external means of confirmation that what you feel is correct, that spirit is on your side. Um, they're really beautiful tools, and it's incredible the artistry and the variety of decks that are available.
I think that many people who are deeply religious, specifically to a religious dogma, think that tarot and oracle are, oh, that's the devil's work. But I think you stated it well. It could be if they misuse it and allow that to become illusion and fantasy and pull them down the wrong path.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, good. You're a nice, you're a very nice guy. That is beautiful. So anybody who's curious about that, listen to what Finn just said. So I see you do one-on-one sessions with people. What do you do with these people during the sessions?
It varies, but completely by every session. Um, but most of all, what I do is I show up. I'm present for whatever that person needs. I open a channel for the divine to speak through me and share whatever they need to hear. But it's completely different depending on who and what and the how the energy wants to move. Um, but they're always really beautiful, and I always feel very grateful to get to help people in that way. It feels really fulfilling and gratifying to get to share my light and be of service in that sense.
Yeah, what a great way to fulfill your mission. Yeah, and people can just connect with you via your website, Flow with Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yep,
it .love?
it is.
That's very cool. I'll put that in the show notes and make sure people can connect with you. Do you ever or do any online workshops or retreats, or you ever consider doing that?
Um, I haven't, and I haven't really thought about it, but that might be fun to explore eventually.
Yeah, yeah. One big thing that a lot of light workers and teachers and guides are doing, they'll go to like spiritual places like Sedona, Arizona, or something, and bring people, or go to Costa Rica and do some plant medicine retreats, that type of thing. We are speaking, of course, to a beautiful being of light, a young lady named Finola Cox, just simply goes by Finn. Her website is flowwithfinn.love. What is your advice to someone who is right now stuck in high gear, living a fast-paced, stressful life, not really happy right now with where they are at their life? What would you suggest for them?
Um, Trust where you are at and don't force yourself to be something that you are not. Simply accept this moment for all that it is because you chose to be here. What a lot of people don't quite understand is that they decided every aspect of this incarnation. The family they were born into, the body that they have, every aspect, every checkpoint in their life. The major events have already been set. The way in which they go about them and the timing and the pace is determined by their free will. But everything that you experience in this lifetime has already been chosen by you. And there's great comfort and sovereignty in knowing that because you chose this moment. You chose this lesson. You chose to be here. And I find that that can bring a lot of people comfort because they understand that this is what their soul wanted, and this is the reason that they are experiencing whatever it may be. So understand that you're here for a reason, and you're here because you chose to be here.
Yeah, you're spot on that. I think on my own journey of spiritual awakening and enlightenment, and I still have a long way to go. The best thing I've ever heard, I'll be in a moment in myself, in angst, going, "Oh my God, come on, let's get the," and then all of a sudden I'll just hear, "Carl, all is well." All is well. You are, and it's exactly what you said. I will hear this. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you open yourself up and listen to that and hear spirit talking to you, I just kind of, oh yeah, it does bring a moment of peace. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. All is truly well. It always is.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Keep doing what you do, Finn, boy, because the world needs to hear that more than ever now. And that's what we're doing on this show, extending your word and your truth and your beauty out to the world. Now, one other thing, too. Being as young as you are, what advice do you have to people in their teenage years or even younger, when people like you, when you were 11 and you were in a dark place? What would you say to somebody who a youngster who thinks they're stuck in this place?
Yeah. Well, and I'd like to clarify that the pivot that I mentioned wasn't until about 14.
Okay.
Um, so just so that is out there.
Mhm.
But it does get better. And I understand how annoying that can be to hear to someone who is in a mental hospital or someone who is grieving their parents. Like I understand the human condition. I have been there, but it does get better. And there is a light, and it is so important that you trust that. And no matter what you call it, and no matter what relationship you have with it, Source is always with you, even when you're not aware of it, even when you don't feel its presence, even when you don't think it's there. God is always with you, and it is organizing everything in your favor, even if you do not have the eyes to see it yet. So trust in that plan, trust in your own plan, trust that you are here for a reason, and that all is well, because
Mhm.
it is.
I think especially young people need to hear that, because if you're 11 or 12 or 14, whatever, and you're in a real dark place, you haven't had life experience, and let's say you just got suspended from school, or your parents have grounded you, and you think that's the end of the universe. It's not. you
Yeah,
know all is
but it
well.
can feel
And
that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if they can remember, or at least think and hear somebody like Finn telling them, "Hey, there's more out there. Don't let this stop you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, just amazing. What's next for Finn? Are you going to just keep flowing? Do you have any big plans, or are you just doing what you do, your artwork, and helping people remember their light and their source?
Yeah. Um, I don't have a big plan. I'm just flowing.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm just going to call you a young hippie chick. I love it. It is just so great. So now, tell us your website again, and what is the best way for people? Is that the best way to people to connect with you?
Yeah. My website is flowwithfin.love, and that is the best way to connect with me.
But you have a huge social media following. You're on TikTok, Facebook,
Yeah. Um,
YouTube Reels too.
I I only have TikTok. I only have a TikTok account. There are lots of scammers and lots of other people
Oh.
that are posting my content, and I have mixed feelings about it because I'm grateful that the messages are reaching the people that they're meant to via those platforms. However, it's also frustrating that people are being scammed and being deceived. with my face and name, but it's okay, because it's what it's meant to be, and the messages are reaching the people that they're meant to, and that's all that really matters to me.
All
So
is well. All is well.
Yeah, but just to clarify, I only have TikTok. I don't have any other accounts.
I just found a Facebook page for you too.
Yep,
Somebody else put that up?
there's so many. It's insane, but
I didn't know that. Wow. All right, Finn, you are amazing. I am so grateful that you chose World Awakenings to be your first podcast, and I'm literally at a loss of words. I'm just so happy that you're here. What you're doing, I mean, it's so needed, and thank you for bringing your light in. And it's so cool to finally see someone from the younger generation bring eternal wisdom from Source to the world. Thank you.
yeah, thank you for having me.
This has been another episode of World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with host Carl Gruber, a certified Law of Attraction life coach. We welcome you to tune in to each and every episode of World Awakenings as we open your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to the truth of all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how much they play an all-important role in our moment-to-moment daily life. Much love and light to you, my friend, and thank you for tuning into World Awakenings.